Every time I do about pulling out.
All right.
What are we talking about here?
We're going to talk about sustainable agriculture.
All right.
And so basically, factory farms are the new industrial agriculture is taking over. And it's starting to damage the environment. And so factory farms, they're leading to like a 37% increase in methane production in the atmosphere, which is methane's a 20 times more stronger greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, so it traps heat more. And what we should be doing is we should be working on sustainable agriculture. So basically, what I wrote my paper on was the polyface farm and how they do rotational grazing and how they take cattle, chickens, pigs, and roosters.
Yeah, there's a glass right.
Cattle. That's really weird.
Is it the same scale as factory farms, or is it smaller scale?
It's a smaller scale, so there's less of a footprint on the environment. So factory farms are these huge buildings and filled with tens of thousands of animals. And sustainable farming is what they're calling it now. Is they're moving cattle from pasture to pasture. Chickens are coming in, eating manure, eating the parasites out of it, and then the manure is taken to the pigs to be composted, and they eat what isn't digested in the cow's stomach. And so these farms are able to, I think Polyface Farm said it turns over like $300,000 in profit every year just from this process. Not only can they have like a sawmill on the farm and everything now, and factory farms, they're leading to air pollution and water pollution because all of that manure has to go somewhere. And so that manure is pumped into lagoons, and the lagoons are then, they leak into like streams and rivers, which are causing algae blooms and major fish kill-offs. And so if you go to sustainable farming, all that manure is used, the manure produced is used for compost and put back onto the land. And then the way that the animals are processed is a lot cleaner. There's less antibiotics in the meat and everything. And so the way this relates to Catholic social teaching is that protecting God's creation. And so sustainable farming is less damaging to the environment. There's not the harmful chemicals added to the environment. The methane produced is a lot less because of the trees and the forest around the area taking in methane, carbon dioxide, and then
Are there any downsides to it, to the sustainable, other than
the only thing is there will have to be more sustainable agriculture than there is factory farming. So factory farming is on a large scale, but there's not as many. And for the United States to produce enough meat and food to provide for everybody, we will have to. It's like, so this you have to. Everybody's gonna have to do it. So like urban farming and stuff like that will have to happen. And so you'll have to take like people that live in cities will have to maybe grow their own vegetables or have their gardens to grow corn and beans and stuff like that. And we don't have these huge monocultures everywhere in the United States.
So it's just going to take up more real estate, basically?
Yeah, basically. And then another thing is the solidarity. I mean, with the population growing the way it is, food security is becoming an issue. And the way we're farming these monocultures right now, it's just like in the United States, it's just one plant. And so we need to change to more of a multi-plant system, and that'll be done by our urban garden and sustainable farming. That way you'll be able to produce your own food, and that won't lead to trade wars that are going on like with the United States and China right now.
Right on. Yeah, you're at 4:45.